Hello, this is Ian Scales from Telecom TV, and I'm here at Telco 2.0 Executive Brainstorm, and I'm going to be interviewing Gil Rosen. Gil is the VP for Strategic Initiatives and Customer Experience at Amdocs Interactive. Welcome, Gil.
Thank you.
Gil, listen, we want to talk about how telcos can respond to the fast-changing world. On the mobile side of the equation, data has become much more important. And over the past 2 years, we've seen the rise of the App Store, and with that, we've seen a rise in the importance of the mobile operating system. With the OS gaining importance, what's the best strategy for the mobile telco?
This is the key question now of the industry, and I think that the best way to think about it is to create the analogy between maybe Facebook and iTunes or App Store. iTunes and App Store, their purpose is to create downloads for a device and essentially glorify the device. Me as a user, I have this wonderful device with hundreds or tens of apps, which I like, but it locks me into the iPhone. Facebook, in essence, is a platform that Facebook created, but developers enhance the Facebook platform. Users access this platform from multiple devices. And I think that's the essence. Service providers don't need to recreate a device app store because it's a glorification of the device. It's counterproductive to their business. They need to create a cloud platform that creates richness to the cloud services.
Okay, so another way of thinking about that is that the ability to be agnostic and to go over other networks has become important too. Should mobile operators start to think about services, not just on their own networks, but on other networks too?
Yes, I think that we need to think of it, let's simplify the discussion to what I as a consumer want to do. So I'm not a Nokia person or an iPhone person, and I need to be able to access my services across different screens. I think what you'll see is service providers trying to maybe reach consumers across the PC, the mobile, perhaps TV. Then you have the advantage of being perhaps a quad player. So maybe you will see consolidation of service providers trying to reach across more screens. I don't see in the short term really service providers giving up business to other service providers who own these different screens. I would see them try to advance into these different screens and really own this cross-platform environment.
Okay, well that sounds very good on paper, but what would the concrete steps be for a service provider to make that real transformation in his business thinking? From being a walled garden type of provider, providing services on his own network, maybe in conjunction with other players, to someone who tries to offer a more open platform. How do they get from where they are now to where they think they want to be?
Again, a key question. First of all, realize what you're not. You're not a product company that's going to launch the next killer social messaging service. What you are is a service communication provider with some key assets that can create a platform that can be beneficial for consumers, be the digital lifestyle integrator of communication services, of media services, of money payment services, but then allow the community to take that platform and create something richer. You still need to create a theme around the platform. So it's not just a agnostic platform with billing capabilities. You have to create the theme, but then allow the greater community to enrich it. So I think the moving forward, service providers need to make that sort of switch of what they are and what they're not, and they're not a platform or a product company. It's really a hybrid model.
And how can they change themselves internally to support this? We were talking before of there sometimes being a dichotomy within mobile telcos between the network side and the marketing side. How can they get around this?
I've experienced this a lot as a vendor, as a software vendor, that you have to run across the different departments to convince people to do things. And where I've seen it being effective is where you have a vertically integrated, mission-focused group that really runs all the way from the top, from the marketing to the support, to the operations, to the IT, to the network, all about doing the same thing. When you have horizontal groups, whether it's network and IT and CMO marketing not acting in sync, you have an execution problem. And sometimes the industry knows what to do, but it lacks the execution capabilities, and that's because organizationally it's not aligned to execute these kind of strategies.
And what other holes are there for service providers? Is there something, for instance, that Amdocs can do? Different kinds of arrangements, for instance?
Well, I think without getting into detail long-term, Amdocs is, in Amdocs Interactive specifically, we've created a set of technological solutions that facilitate the capability to support a platform. But going forward, we'll be looking into being more proactive in the ecosystem in order to facilitate something that would enable not just the technical side of it, but also the business side of it.
And is this a way of getting operators to scale? One of the big challenges they face in this world is that they're now competing against global players like Google with its huge data centers and its huge global customer base. How can you get to the scale you need to compete with that if you're just a national mobile telco with a few million customers?
Well, I think it's good for both. I think it's good for the software industry, and if we look at where the software industry is moving into the SaaS environment, and I think Amdocs is making moves into that place, and that's about scale and creating efficiency and decoupling labor from revenue. And I think that's when you take that model, overlay it on top of this specific problem, and then enrich it, that's the direction that we'll be looking to get into.
Gil, thank you very much.
Thank you.